I'm a guy who literally just sits right here and just plays games and talks with you guys about silly stuff every day.
More of this.
Riddle me this. What do you get whenever you have someone that is streaming but claims he has no internet, comes back while bitching and complaining about the internet problems, and then later on gets sick, having to cancel said streams while leaving them up, and then coming back to make an update saying that he is sick and that his wife is sick, as well as coming back to stream while going on and on about how he is sick and just wants to stream? Well, the answer is already in the title of this video, but with that said and done, let's continue.
I'm here. I'm not here in full capacity, that's for sure. But I'm here in the limited capacity that I can be, and very much wanting to be. I've wanted to be here in spirit. You know, I've wanted to be on stream for days now.
Yeah, he just wanted to be on stream. That way he could just constantly beg people for money because he's sick, you guys. Please give him the money.
Tonight is really the first night I feel up to it, to be honest with all of you. Oh, the camera's not on. Here we go.
Honestly, it was a lot better without the camera on. I mean, my God, this May 1st incident all over again. I still get the flashbacks.
To be honest with all of you, like, the one thing holding me back, it's not my sinuses, okay?
Well, then again, I love the fact that he says it's not his sinuses, but yet, for some reason, decides to snort really loud. I mean, my God, they sound worse.
Yes, they're full of gunk. They're dripping. Big deal.
But they don't sound or look like they're dripping, though, Phil. I mean, you're going to say that's the post-nasal drip, but come on, Phil.
It's the head pressure. Like, this cold has been so bad that the pressure gets so bad in the top of my head up here, like in the upper temples where, you know, the sinus pressure goes up.
Thank you for explaining what a common head cold is. But before I'm going to continue with this one, though, in his update video, he kept saying over and over that he might have COVID. But at the same time, though, it's like, Phil, if you thought you had COVID, the first thing that you do is get a COVID test. I mean, I'm sure that DoorDash can deliver them to you because they're easy to purchase. But the problem is that you didn't even do that. So why all of a sudden you're going to bring up COVID? But then again, we've seen your videos about COVID or you talking about it.
It hurts so bad I can't concentrate. Like, I can't even think to myself about anything. There was no way I'd be able to, like, play a video game or sit here and even hang out with you guys. I've been in so much pain this week. And no exaggeration, twice I felt good. And then when this medication ran out, this is the migraine Advil I have here in this bag. Do you see?
My fucking God, he had to pull out his little baggie of pills that he has to take. I'm sorry to tell you this, Phil, but Advil is not the thing that you're supposed to be taking for it, Phil. I mean, like, Sudafed is one thing. But then the same thing you say about Tylenol. Those are mostly known for fever reducers or anything that can help out with the common cold. But Advil, though? Careful, Phil. You might be addicted to it because you keep saying that people keep taking Tylenol. They'll be addicted.
These little gel caps. See them? They're nice. That golden brown color. You see that?
Also, why is it in a fucking bag? Like, why can't you just bring the bottle with you? Or just buy two. Keep one in the office and keep one in the bathroom or something.
So those gel caps are so strong that when I pop one, if I have that insane sinus pressure, within an hour, it's completely better. I'm like, oh, it feels so good. So I'll be like, oh, I'm so good. And then it wears off, and then I feel like shit again, you know?
Because Advil is not meant for the common cold. Like, a better example of something you could take for this would be something like Dayquil or NyQuil. Well, NyQuil, if you took that, then you'll be passing out on your streams. But then again, you do that on your own already.
And that happened multiple times this week where I thought maybe I could come back today. Maybe I could come back today. It wasn't until last night that I even felt like I was up to making that update video for you guys. That's how bad I felt all week long. I was just so sapped and drained, and I was sleeping constantly, like constant sleep.
Phil, everybody knows why you made that update video. It was a way for you to beg without streaming. You've done this before where you're just like saying, oh, guys, I'm going through a rough situation. Please, please, please give me the money. I'm going through a rough time. I hadn't been sick in years. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, yeah, I need that money. I really, really do. I need to pay my bills.
Today was the first day that I was up all day. I woke up in the morning and I had a lot of things to do. making breakfast for my wife and I, because my wife is very sick now. She's as sick as I was back on like Monday. She's just starting this cold, and I'm, you know, 4 or 5 days through it.
So imagine that. He now discovered that if you're sick and if someone else that's living with you finally gets sick, multiple days passing. My fucking God. But then again, he has to make the food now. So now he's become the house husband.
So she feels like I felt on Monday right now. So bad, you know. So I cooked for us, you know, breakfast, and made sure that she was all right, because she's very sick. So I had to make sure she needed everything she needed to try to get through the day, you know, whether that be drugs or liquids or whatever it was.
Imagine that. Instead of Phil constantly begging for someone that is sick to make his fat ass food, all of a sudden he has to take care of someone else that is sick. Perish the thought.
You know, anything for comfort, you know, cold compress for her forehead. And then I had to arrange for our groceries to show up, which was a nightmare. Our groceries were massively delayed. Yeah, they were massively delayed. They were supposed to be here between like 12 and 4. They didn't show up till almost 5. Even though we were told that they were going to show up on the earlier side. They were prepared at 9 a.m. I got an email at 9 a.m. Oh, your groceries will be there like soon. Oh, okay. Where is it? We're waiting because we don't have any food for dinner. Where is the fucking groceries?
Phil has no patience. If he sees something that says, oh, it'll expect to arrive at 12 to 4 and all of a sudden it's 5, he has no patience. He wants to speak to the manager about it. Phil, you don't seem to understand how delivery services work, especially when it comes to groceries. Because if you're trying to get things in groceries and you're trying to order it all and have it delivered to you, chances are the items might not be in stock, and they try to contact you saying, hey, this item's out of stock, would you like a substitute? But knowing Phil, he'll never, ever answer that call. Oh, this is out of stock? Oh, no, I can't talk. Oh, human beings. I'm sick.
And they showed up at like last minute, so I was running all around the house, putting all the groceries away, and then making dinner for us so that we could eat, so that I could get ready and we could do a stream tonight, you know?
No, Phil, you wanted to do a stream. Stop saying the we is me mentality, please. Also, quit snorting. Just mute your mic.
I don't know if this is...
Now that's even worse! Just blow right into the mic. Like, Phil, that's absolutely fucking disgusting. Just to blow your snot all over that fucking pop filter.
Coronavirus or not, I'm going to assume it is. Like, it's...
Then again, how do you know it is, Phil? Did you get tested? Did you buy COVID tests? Oh, well, of course not.
It seems like a lot of the symptoms are similar. Not all of them, but a lot of them just are very similar. So I'm going to guess that this is like a late strain coronavirus that I've got. Maybe.
If that is the case, Phil, you got the latest one, aka the weakest variant. A lot of people that got in 2020, they suffered the most with it. But then they started making more of it, and then there's the weakest variant. I had it, it sucked.
Maybe it's not. Maybe maybe I'm just exaggerating, or I'm just assuming. But like,
you're assuming. You're flat out assuming because you didn't buy a fucking test and you're automatically jumped to the conclusions that it's coronavirus.
Like I said, the only other thing that I've ever had that was this bad in my life was the flu that I had when I was in my 20s. And that was so bad, it was 2 weeks and I lost like 25 pounds because I couldn't eat when I had it.
Oh, who fucking who? Something that happened to you when you were 20. So 20 years ago. Oh, that's the worst you've ever felt. Even though he's constantly bitched and complained about ear infections, sore throats, all the times that he was streaming. But yet all of a sudden he wants to stem on the fact that the worst I felt was in my 20s before I started YouTube. Again, doesn't really matter.
At least now I can eat, but I can't really taste. I can taste acidity, and I can taste salt, and I can taste a little bit of sweetness of certain kinds, but I definitely can't taste everything. Like, we had these delicious, mouth-watering, fresh, fried egg sandwiches this morning, where I make these eggs over easy with seasoning and a little bit of sprinkled cheese on a freshly toasted bagel, and you crunch it and you bite into it. It's oozing and delicious. And I couldn't even eat it, or I couldn't taste it. Let me put it that way.
I love how he's going, I couldn't eat it because I'm saying, oh, wait, no, I couldn't taste it. So he's trying to play up the whole thing about him having COVID to try to get some sympathy bucks. Right.
Taste it. I was like, this sucks. I know this is delicious food, and I need it. But I forced myself to eat it, and it was a good thing because it made me feel good.
Phil, when people are really sick, they never really force down food because the biggest problem with it is the nausea that comes from it. It differentiates for different people. Some people might eat and they feel better, but then later on they ended up throwing it back up. So again, Phil, for someone that claims to be really, really sick, you're just hamming it up to make yourself look like a victim.
For dinner here, we had a tomato soup and some bread, like French bread. I dipped in it. That I could taste the tomato soup almost fully. So
you saying that you don't have COVID, but then you're saying you have COVID because you couldn't taste anything, and then all of a sudden you could taste things. Phil, which is it?
I think it's weird. I could taste certain things and not others, but I think it has to do with my sinuses and taste buds are both fucked up by this thing right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need to blow your nose so you can actually taste the tomato soup and bread? Oh my god, bring the tissues.
You know, I'm just happy that my appetite is back. The first couple days, I felt so sick, I didn't want to eat. You know, there was nothing that was appetizing to me, but I forced myself to eat as much as I could.
For most people that are really sick, though, I would say chicken broth is the best thing for it, due to the fact it does have nutrients in it, as long as you know how to season it properly. Another thing that people tend to do to try to build themselves up so they can actually eat or drink something, which would be pickle juice. Granted, pickle juice might sound disgusting, but it's good for electrolytes. It's a good way to build your sodium intake. You know.
Now at least my appetite's back. It just sucks I can't taste anything, you know?
I thought you could taste things, Phil, like the tomato soup.
Anyway.
Disgusting.
So things people are already doing contributions. I might as well shout them out. Slayer, 25 months as a member. Thank you so much, Slayer. It's good to have you here tonight. Just hope you
I love how immediately, as soon as he was done telling people, oh, I'm sick. Oh, great, contributions, money.
feel better soon. Yeah, I feel better today than I have all week. It doesn't mean I feel good. I don't. But at least I feel able to be here tonight. And I'm hoping that it stays that way. By the way, I must remember between 8 and 8:30 p.m. Pacific time to take this Advil. I must take one of these pills because it will run out. And if I don't take it then, there's potential that all that swelling and pain will come right back. So I must take that between 8 and 8:30 tonight. That's why I have it here live on stream here to take.
The only reason why he has it on stream is because he thinks that's like an automatic cure-all or a temporary solution to somewhat of a temporary problem. But Phil, Advil's not going to save you. And my god, the hypocrisy comes from him, even though he was saying over and over that if people were addicted to Tylenol because they keep taking it, dependent on it, then they become addicted to it. Phil, you're becoming addicted to Advil here. I mean, WWE Champions of Gin is one thing, but Advil? Oh, gin therms time.
Live pill popping here on stream.
Phil, just stop. Just stop mentioning things about, oh, pill popping action. Oh.
DSP is the GOAT with a $10 super chat. Welcome back, Phil. Thank you. And I know that you had also done a super chat during the days off there. I really appreciate that. DSP is the GOAT. Thank you so much. To the very few people who did, thank you. There's like maybe 5 people who sent me a contribution during my sickness. I appreciate that. You know who you are. No one asked specifically for a shout out or anything, but I know who you are, and thank you for that. What's funny is I was so delirious. What I was trying to tell you guys in the community post that I made, I think it was like Monday, was that even though I wasn't going to be here Tuesday for the Halloween marathon, that stream would still be open. And so if people were planning on maybe doing something like being nice to people and gifting some memberships or whatever on that day, that there was no reason to not still do that, because people might still come by and see if the stream's going on.
No, Phil, because they already knew that you weren't going to stream, because you made a big announcement that you weren't streaming. That, oh, it's canceled, I'm sick. Normal people, when they are sick, they cancel the streams right away and make a post saying, hey guys, I'm sorry I'm not able to stream. I'm feeling really sick. I hope I feel better soon. But if you're Phil Burnell here, you're immediately going to keep it open, hoping that people throw in some money. So I hope you feel better. Here's some $10 super chats to make you feel better. Or here's memberships, because you're going to need it. He just did it so he can make money off of it. Like the disgusting Pigroach that he is.
And I never even said that. Like, I was so delirious on Monday. Like, that's exactly what I wanted to say. And I never said that in any post anywhere. And it's like 3 days later, I'm going back and I'm looking at the posts I made. I said, I thought I had said that. I was seriously delirious for like 2 days. I don't even know what I said and what I did. Dude, I sent my dad an email
Oh my god, before he goes into the email, first of all, why the fuck do you send your dad an email? A text message, sure, but a phone call even. But why a goddamn email? It just makes no fucking sense why an email. But I'm derailing myself a little bit, and he's like saying all these things about delirium, that he was delirious when he did it. Okay, Phil, so were you delirious when he made that like little update telling people, hey, I'm sick? Because if that's the case, then, hoo boy, delirium is now mixed with delusion.
And I didn't get a response. I was like, oh my God, I must have not sent my dad an email. And then he sent me an email a day later. He's like, I'm so sorry, Phil. I actually meant to respond to you, and my email got stuck in my drafts outbox. So just so you know, I did get your email on Monday.
Oh no, before you continue onward with that, Phil, I think the police are coming after you for telling you so many lies.
You did send it, but I was my fault that you didn't get the response. So I don't even know what's going on. Like, I feel like I lost 3 entire days of my life, you know? I'm so confused.
He is so confused that he couldn't stream. A man that says that this is a job is so confused about everything and anything thanks to delirium. No, Phil, the reason why you're confused is why you're not making money on your days off. You see, the joys of having a job is PTO, or paid time off. Meaning, if you're feeling sick or under the weather and you have a bunch of hours accumulated so you can take time off for situations like this, that's when it's useful. The joys of working a 9-to-5 job, after all. In cases, some jobs don't have that, which I will say it sucks. But with Phil, though, him saying that this is the best job in the world, yet he has no paid time off. He has nothing to fall back on. Great life choice, Phil.
But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back tonight and playing games with you guys.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be back.
You're going to hear a lot of noises tonight. You're going to hear this.
Then why'd you do that again, Phil? Phil, we know. You're going to blow into the fucking mic. You're stuffy, congested. No need to do it again.
You're probably going to see me blow my nose. Nothing you can do about that. Oh, you're going to hear me, you know, clear my throat. Possibly snorting. I can't do anything about it, man.
Yep, now he's finding an excuse to keep going on with his disgusting habits. Oh, I can't help it, guys. I'm sick.
Who communicates with parents by email in 2023? You could do calls. Me, because I was sick.
You could still call someone, Phil. You could still pick up the phone, dial your mom or dad, and talk to them on the phone. They can hear that you're sick, Phil. But the problem is that you don't want to communicate with people via voice. Instead, you want to talk to them via text, like the stream chat, like the emails. That's the only time ever that you will ever communicate with somebody is through text. It's like, Phil, the problem with that, though, is that with text, there's no emotion with it. But with voice, you could feel emotions, and people can tell if you're sick or not. But, again, this is Phil, after all.
I couldn't call anyone. I told you, I couldn't even do anything coherently. So I wanted to write, because normally I would call my parents, and I was so sick I didn't call them, because I couldn't even really talk. So I wrote my dad a quick email on Monday. I was like, Dad, just so you know, I didn't call because I'm really sick. You know, I'm trying to get better. And, you know, I don't want you to think that anything's horrible or anything here, but I am really sick. That's why I didn't call you.
The thing that really makes no sense here is that Phil says that he doesn't think coherently. He couldn't do that due to the fact that he was really sick, though. But yet he was coherent enough to type out an email and send it to his dad. Phil, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Like, I'm not sorry to say it. People who have no coherent thought, they would just call randomly or text randomly. But the problem is that calling someone is easier than writing an email. Like, for God's sakes, a lot of proofreading will be done to actually see what you wrote in the email. Like, my God, dude.
And that was it. I call my parents every week. I call my parents once a week, Ellipsian. How do you not know this?
I'm calling bullshit. The only time you ever call your parents is if either A, you need money, or B, someone stole my tire, or emergency, I need help. That's the only time you ever call your parents. You're that type of child.
How dare you? You know what, Ellipsian? 2 demerits for you tonight.
Oh, 2 demerits for asking a question. Ooh.
Just because you said that, because you don't know that I call my parents regularly every week, that I've done for years and years ever since I moved out here, 2 demerits. You just
Phil, nobody cares if you call your parents or not.
I couldn't text because my parents do not text. That's correct. My parents do not text at all. I either have to call or I can email my dad. That's it.
I'm calling immense fucking bullshit, because if they're not able to text, how is it that your dad could send you a picture of a fish via text messaging? Again, this doesn't corroborate.
My mom doesn't use a cell phone whatsoever, and my dad has a cell phone and doesn't text and doesn't know how to do it. I'm serious.
Again, the picture of the goddamn fish. Oh yeah, take that, Jen, so you can think of a
Trust me,
story.
I would send him a text. I thank you all for your well wishes. People are being very nice right now. I thank you all for your well wishes. I can't address everyone because there's a lot of people saying nice things. I appreciate that.
Phil, why'd you need to address that? You could just say thank you for the well wishes, everybody. See? Simple.
Okay, tips. Let's see here. $1 tip came in. Someone says, oh, this was from Dr. Oink. He says, the detractors are very upset when you don't stream because their lives are obsolete. Oh, I know. Because what happens is when I'm not streaming, they have to think up stuff, like make stuff up to talk about because there's nothing to talk about. They're so incredibly bored with the fact that I'm not here that, you know. But that's what I mean. Like, they act like they want me to be shut down constantly, and they do awful things to hurt me because that's the part of their own created lolcow culture, is that they think they can hurt someone and get away with it and laugh at it, right?
Phil, most of the time that you're not streaming, they don't give a fuck what you're doing. Instead, they're doing their own thing. Most detractors out there have lives outside of this. They're not going to be sitting around in secret discords, as you like to say, talking shit about you. Instead, what they're doing, they're working their jobs, they're spending time with their own families, and they're having a social life outside of this. Either playing video games. There's a lot of things that they do. But all of a sudden, you had to find a way to make a jab at the detractors, say that, oh yeah, these losers, they're nothing without me. Oh, let me just grab my stick and just poke the hornet's nest some more.
But what they don't realize is that if I actually did go away forever, that they would have nothing to talk about.
It's always funny that Phil wants to make up shit about detractors all the time. Oh, they have nothing to talk about. Phil, most people can actually branch out and do other things. Talk about video games, movies, music. There's a lot of things that they could do. But the problem is that you're looking at it thinking that they have no creativity in their body and they have no passion for anything else. Again, we just do this to point and laugh at your failures and your shortcomings because it's a funny thing to do. But you don't seem to understand that because you never learn to laugh at yourself. Plus, there's a certain percentage of the detractor community that actually gives you the benefit of the doubt. Some people do, some people don't. But again, you don't seem to understand that detractors have social lives. That's something that you clearly do not have.
Right? There'd be nothing going on at all. They're fucking idiots. So, but I know, I'm well aware of all, you know, all the nonsense, but I pay no attention to any of it. Like, seriously, people send it to me, I delete it right away. I don't care about what the fuck those idiots are saying or doing. I could not give two shits about what they said about these last few days. You know, I know I was sick as a dog, and that's where I've been.
No, Phil, you actually do care about what's going on in the detractor community, and you just care about everything that is sent to you in general, due to the fact that you get your jollies off if something bad happens to the detractor community. I've seen you take pride in it. You always do so, Phil. You just want all detractors to go away and fuck off and die somewhere else. In reality, that's never going to happen, Phil M.
And by the way, for the record, we will be talking about the future very shortly. We'll be talking about, gee, what happens now? Because, Phil, you missed so many streams. What happens with the React show? What happens with the Halloween Marathon? What happens with the playthroughs? We're going to talk about all that. Not tonight. Tonight, I want to play Alan Wake 2. I've been dying to play this game all week. It's such a good game. We played 10 hours of it. And then I've been wanting to play it ever since, and I haven't been able to play it all week. And I'm like, every day I'm thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to jump back in. So that's what it's about tonight. It's not about talking about all those other topics. I think we'll figure that shit out later. I wanna play Alan Wake tonight, okay?
Yeah, I love the fact that he's immediately going to. I want to play Alan Wake 2. I actually care about video games, even though when we see him play video games, he does not look interested in the game at all. Instead, he has to ham it up thinking that, oh, this is happening in the game. Ack. Scat humor. That's all that he does with his gameplay. Phil, just mute your mic.
Okay. People person, I already have my taste coming back, so you can relax.
Didn't you say that you couldn't taste anything, Phil? And now all of a sudden that you can taste things? Again, your stories are not cooperating with one another.
Anyway, I received a $50 anonymous tip to start tonight. Wow.
Thanks, OIC.
Thank you, whoever this is. Don't know who it is. Oh, by the way, I didn't change the animations back yet. I changed the background very quickly, but I have not changed any of the animations back yet. So bear with me. Tonight we're going to have Halloween animations.
Rip Judgy.
But I will try to change these back to the more generic ones for tomorrow as we get back into stuff, as long as I feel up to streaming tomorrow, that is, I should say. Yeah. Did that work, by the way? Because, yeah, there it is. We'll change these back for tomorrow.
Guys, did it work? My delirium is kicking in again.
And don't worry, tonight I'm not talking about money or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that. You know me, I'm a transparent guy. And
yeah, you're a transparent guy, but yet the past few days you were like hoping people would give you money, especially when you made that update video saying, guys, I'm really sick. Please, guys, give me super thanks. Give me tips behind the scenes. I mean, my God, I need that money, guys, but I'm sick.
I'm going to talk about it eventually. I'm going to say about, you know, how this affects me, because it affects me in a really bad way, but I don't care about that shit tonight. I just want to play the game.
Even though you clearly do.
I got a $10 tip. Wow. Thank you from Canadian Kirk. Welcome back. What comes of the Halloween costume? We'll talk about this, not tonight. I literally just said that. We're not going to talk about that stuff tonight.
Phil, whenever they were asking you that question, they probably gave you that money while you were talking about other things way before you mentioned the costume. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, thanks for the $10. I already explained I'm not talking about. Now give me more money.
Tonight it's about hanging out and having a good time with this game and enjoying it. And then we'll tackle everything else, possibly tomorrow, because I don't know how I'm going to feel. I don't even know if we're doing the podcast tomorrow. It might be tomorrow we just do gameplay. We just do gameplay streams and no podcast, because maybe I'm going to start later. You got to understand something, guys. I'm taking care of myself and my wife now, because my wife is super duper sick. So I have to take care of her and do everything else in the house at the same time, while now I also have to try to stream. So it's like I'm doing even more work than I used to. So I might not even be able to do the podcast for a bit. We'll see.
I love the fact that he immediately goes into, I have to take care of my wife, guys. This is more work than I have to do. Like, Phil, if you are married to somebody and they are sick, that's not considered as work. That's just considered as common sense to take care of someone that you love. And also your pets count that as well. But why is it that you have to say that it's constant work, Phil? Because you're so goddamn lazy that as soon as something happens, the pettiest little thing or the, like, menial little thing, oh, that's just extra work. Like, come on, Phil. People go through this on an everyday fucking basis. If they're sick or their loved ones are sick, they're taking care of them. Because that's what you're supposed to do in a relationship. But, Phil, you're clearly not human. We already know this. Yeah, because humans don't do that. My God. If they ever did that, they actually excuse themselves beforehand. And they mute the goddamn mic.
Excuse me. We'll go from there. We'll see what happens, though. Okay? By the way, I was going to say, do I have any cough drops if I need them? I do. They're over there. I don't think I'll need them, though. I think I'll be all right.
No, Phil, you definitely fucking need them. Because if you keep clearing your throat like that, you need a fucking cough drop. Ah, gin. The breakfast of champions.
Thank you all again. Everyone is individually saying, you know, welcome back and good to see you and hope you feel better. I appreciate that. I can't address every comment. There's too many of them. I appreciate that, though. Elsky, thank you. Re-upping the membership for 26 months. So we're going to start in a second. Okay?
He's just hoping that someone else would give him more money. That's the reason why he's doing that.
I'm going to start in a second here. But just so you guys know, I'm going to have to blow my nose tonight. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to put up with it. It's disgusting. I'll turn around when I do it like this. I'll do this.
The fuck? You gotta put up with me blowing my fucking nose. Phil, just mute the fucking mic and then blow your nose. What's so hard about that? No, instead, I gotta turn around and just blow my nose away from the mic while I have it unmuted.
Just like that. So you don't, that way you don't have to see it, okay?
No, Phil, we could still see you blowing your goddamn nose.
Oh, it's not that bad, actually. It wasn't that bad. I thought it was worse than it was.
Then why do it in the first place?
It's because my nose is runny, too. My nose is running as well as stuffy, so it's like everything at once. You know, it's disgusting.
No, your nose is not fucking runny, because we would have heard a lot more mucusy sounds coming from that nose of yours.
More of this.
Even though Phil did come back to stream and he made money off of this Alan Wake 2 stream, it's just weird the way he started it. He kept saying that he had a cold and that it was COVID, but then took that back and then went back on saying he could taste things and he couldn't taste things. It was just a weird tales of stories that do not cooperate with one another. But the one thing that really got me was when Phil said that he wrote an email to his dad. Like, Phil, you could just call your dad or just call your mom. Let them know that you're feeling good or you're feeling bad. Just give them a little bit of something so that way they'll know that something's up. But the way that Phil just goes off and says, I wrote an email. Who does that in the year 2023? The only times that emails are ever used is for a professional sense. And family is not a professional sense. But then he kept going off saying that detractors are nothing without Phil and that they're losers, have no social life. It's really rich coming from a man that has no social life and doesn't know how to touch grass. And whenever he does, it's usually on his day off. It's like, Phil, you love to generalize detractors quite a lot. And it's just sad that the more you say about us, the more ridiculous you really sound. But with that said and done, I'm going to conclude this with the Phil prayer. Deliver us from the dents. Deliver us from the pay pigs. Deliver us from the pignosis. May we never become dented. May we never become a beggar like Darkside Phil. And for the love of God, if you have a significant other that is sick, don't look at it like it's fucking work. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your wives, your husbands. Just take care of your family in general. Because that's just the decent and also the most normal thing to do. Amen.